Chapter 1. First impressions are usually wrong. Part A. Psychologists call it thin slicing, the brain's ability to make a fast judgment from a very thin slice of experience. The term was coined by Nalini Ambady, a social psychologist at Harvard, whose research in the 1990s demonstrated that people could form remarkably accurate assessments of strangers from exposure lasting as little as 30 seconds. The findings were striking, but they came with a caveat that tends to get left out of the popular summary. Thin slicing is accurate in some domains and wildly unreliable in others. It works reasonably well for reading broad emotional states and basic personality traits. It works far less well for predicting character, values, or how someone will behave under different conditions. And it works least well of all when we are anxious, status conscious, or meeting someone in a context that activates our own threat response, which is to say, it works least well in almost every professional or social situation where we actually need it to work. You have already misjudged someone today, not dramatically, not loudly, quietly, automatically. I don't like him. Daniel didn't say it out loud. He didn't need to. The thought arrived fully formed, efficient, unquestioned, like most first impressions do. Marcus had walked into the meeting room slightly late, carrying more energy than the room was ready for. He spoke before sitting down, laughed too quickly, took up space without asking permission. "Morning," Marcus said. "Morning," Daniel replied. That was enough. Nothing had happened, and yet everything had. What Daniel didn't examine in that moment or afterwards was why, not what Marcus had done. Why it had landed the way it did. The thought felt like an observation. It was actually a conclusion, one assembled in the time it takes to make eye contact across a room and filed as fact before a single piece of evidence had been gathered. This is what thin slicing does in practice. It generates a verdict and delivers it with the confidence of someone who has done their homework. The brain, evolved for speed, does not flag this as a first draft. It presents it as a conclusion. And conclusions, once filed, tend to stay filed. I don't think he likes me. Marcus, later that day, quieter than usual. He barely looked at me. 2 people, 1 interaction, 2 conclusions. Both wrong. We don't meet people. We meet fragments, a tone, a glance, a moment taken entirely out of context. And then, because the brain abhors a gap, we fill in everything we don't know with everything we assume. The result is a portrait that feels complete and is, in almost every important respect, a self-portrait. First impressions don't reveal who someone is, they reveal what you expect to see. The expectation and the person are 2 different things. For Chapter 1, Part B, go over to Amazon and purchase Wrong About People by R.L. Oban. Link in the description.
You've already misjudged someone today. You didn't even notice. Wrong About People reveals why your first impressions fail, and how the people who once irritated you most become the ones you trust completely. 8 chapters. 1 powerful idea. A smarter way to see the people around you. Wrong About People by R.L. Oban. Available now on Amazon.